Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to Nickstertricker's Ultimate. This is my second take. This is my second take. If I fuck up, I don't give a shit. I was a few minutes in talking about this review already, and then my mother fucking called me to ask me a stupid ass question. So, oh boy, I don't give a shit. A gunfire can go off and I can be called out of the house. I'm not gonna give a shit. I will bring you guys fucking with me, and I will continue to do this review. So, welcome back to another video, guys. Welcome to the first ever comic book review. I'm just gonna try and get straight into it. This is my review for Stuff of Nightmares, Sleigh Ride. This is written by R.L. Stine, illustrated by P.S. Back, and colored by Francisco Segala. So names are right there. So I actually did go on and learn some stuff about this for like a short few seconds. So the review will be a little bit better. That being one of them, but I just want to let you guys know before I actually get into this review. First off, if you don't want to be if you do not want to be spoiled, I will give you guys some of my quick thoughts about it, about how I thought of about what I think of it, and how I thought that it was story-wise and drawn and whatever, and then you guys can determine if you guys want to hear the rest of the review, and then go on and decide if you want, or just go on and decide if you want to read it or not. Sorry, my brain's thinking about a million fucking things right now. So, anyways, guys, before I also do go on to the review, you can game if you're new to the channel. Welcome back. Please give this video a like, comment down below. Let me know what comic book reviews you want me to do in the future, and make sure you subscribe make sure you subscribe if you do like comic book reviews, because you can guarantee from January 1st of 2024 the whole way through December 1st, 2024, so on and so forth. I will be doing an upload every single day of a comic book review. You can guarantee that. And another thing you can guarantee on is that's my New Year's resolution, to do one comic book review every single day. But I will have some that I will go on and I'll read and I will record and keep for emergency's sake, and whatever. But this is the day after Christmas, so maybe belated Christmas. I am recording this on December 26th, 2023. And in January, I am going to be going up to Pennsylvania, so I am going to be bringing some comic books with me that I do want to read, and there will be some comic books that I might get along the way. I will also have trades, and I will tell you guys the trade / volume of certain things, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I will get more into that later, because I went on and talked about it for 5 fucking minutes before I went on and did the review. But that's pretty much it. Besides from the fact that I will be uploading 2 times daily. There will be some days where I will upload 3 times a day. Maybe 2 times. I don't know. It depends what's going to go on. And, like, if there's something that comes up, like, if there's a movie that I really, really enjoyed, like, I gotta get back up and talk about my movie reviews. I was going to talk about movie reviews as much as I can, but I do have a Letterboxd account, where I do go on and I write movie reviews all the time. So make sure you guys follow nickstertricker, one word, no capitalization, just nickstertricker, not trickster, nickstertricker, one word, on Letterboxd, and make sure you guys go follow me there if you want to read all my movie reviews and how I thought of a movie and why I gave it the star rating that I did. I like to sink in as much as I can and just enjoy the movie for what it is. And I do have a comic book thingy as well, but it's just normally a tracker to keep track of what I went on, and I have both read, but what I mainly have in my collection, so don't really pay attention to that, because I don't write a review. I just give it 5 stars and call it a day. But and this is by far a 5-star book, because this right here, the first ever review, comic book review, I wanted to get this out on Christmas Eve, but I didn't. I read this book on Christmas Eve, but it's Stuff of Nightmares, Sleigh Ride, once again. This is written by R.L. Stine, and now I'm going to get into the review because I don't want to waste any more time. R.L. Stine is my all-time favorite he is my favorite writer ever. Jeff Johns is my favorite comic book writer, but R.L. Stine, looks like that he's going to get more into comic books, but he is my all-time favorite writer, both for books and soon-to-be comics. But if we're talking about just strictly writers as a whole, and this is going to go into like regular books, then R.L. Stine is my favorite writer of all time. And I will say this, I was talking to my mother about it, he can write, if you do like scary stories, R.L. Stine is definitely a way to go for like adult stuff, because he can rival Stephen King. Stephen King goes on to write novels and just has books that have about 1,000 pages to it. So really, it's really hard for someone like R.L. Stine to go on and have as big of a fan base as Stephen King does. So I'm in a weird positioning right now. My knee's fucking killing me. So it's really hard for someone like R.L. Stine, who just wrote like Goosebumps books, a book that he is synonymous for, and so as well with the Fear Street books and its first ever book, Blind Date. And for him to get, I mean, he does have a large fan base, but really, he can rival Stephen King for how scary his books are. Because for his adult books, he likes to keep things more realistic, and this book right here definitely shows you why. And I need to get maybe a quick thumbnail, so this is gonna be a few seconds of one, because I'm gonna try my damnedest to get this thumbnail, even if it fucking kills me. Well, I don't even have a fucking book in frame. Alright, I'm hoping that's good enough. I need to get the book in frame here. I think I got Sleigh Ride, I don't know. But this book, so fucking good. I really love the way that it was drawn. It was just so good, and some of the stuff in it was amazing. This Santa right here, which I'll get into his name later, he was very well drawn. And some of the stuff that he did was excellent. Once again, Nightmare Keeper, he was very well drawn, like the other Stuff of Nightmare books, which are very, very good. Like, I support anything and everything R.L. Stine does. So this right here is definitely a book that you want to read, especially for the holiday season, because this book takes place on Christmas Eve. So I'm glad that I read it on Christmas Eve because of that reason. But especially if you get the book and you want to read it before December ends, or you want to read it, I mean, hell, it's even a great scary Christmas story to read during Halloween season. So if you want to read during that, you can, but that's just to get into the season. If you want to read it just to read it, you can read it anytime you want. I think you will still enjoy it, because this book was so good. R.L. Stine was so great, and he can get very, very fucking dark at times when he can, because once again, his adult books is going to be more realistic. This book, once again, proves you why. His adult books are more realistic, whether it be comic books or regular books, like his first ever book, Blind Date, or his book series with Fear Street. And then you got his more horror kids books, which is more fake, like it's non-realistic, like The Abominable Snowman Pasadena, and Revenge of the Garden Gnomes, and all of that fun jazz. Like, it's just fake monsters, and he wants to really push that out there for kids to be like, oh yeah, like, this is definitely towards kids, so we just want to make it monsters that aren't realistic, while when you read his adult books, you find out that the monsters in the books are actually the people themselves, which is fucking great. And I don't think really many people notice that too often, but it is phenomenal. And I love that because really, even in real life, people are monsters in this world. No one really knows that. Like, if there were vampires and lichens, which are also known as werewolves, and a whole bunch of other shit, ghosts, which I do believe in, demons, and even if Satan himself comes to life and takes over the world someday, nothing's gonna be scarier than the humans themselves, because when you get really into more adult books where the people are the true villains of the story, that's just telling you, hey, like, this is actually real. And I know that it's just a book and it's just a comic book and it's something completely different from real life if you really pay attention more often. Yes, hell, even back in the 60s with the Twilight Zone, Ron Sterling even wanted the twist to be, oh yeah, the humans are, like, the people are the actual monsters. And hell, even in today's age, that episode still holds up, because that is just so true. And honestly, this book, just right here, if you watch The Violent Night, you will really enjoy this book, because this just goes to show how one person can get fired from a job and go fucking apeshit. Violent Night is a great movie, and there is some stuff in this book, Stuff of Nightmares, that really made me feel like I was reading about Violent Night. Because this book is like Violent Night, but more violent, I guess, if you want to say. And it's creepier. So if you haven't watched Violent Night, it's just kind of like it's not really a horror movie. It's like a action. It's more or less an action movie, but it can still be scary. But it's not really like a murderous Santa. You know what I mean? It's something just completely different. So yeah, it's just, this book was very good. I think, beside, like, my thoughts on this book is just R.L. Stine did a great job writing it. Like everyone that I just said the name of, R.L. Stine, P.U. Spack, and Francisco Segala. I'm sorry if I pronounced those names wrong, because I probably butchered like two of them, maybe three of them, but um but yeah, like, everyone just did such an incredible job in this book. So that's gonna be pretty much my non-spoiler review, because I just want to actually talk about and actually review this comic book and do what I'm gonna do and just give you a comic book review. So if you want to read this book, go out, you buy it now, and you don't listen to this review, because I am gonna do spoilers. But if you just want, if you have read this book and want to hear the review on it, then please feel free and watch, and make sure you subscribe, because this is what I'm going to be doing every single day in 2024. And I'm going to try and get hopefully one more, I'm going to hopefully try and get one more comic book review out. And depending on how well these do, I'm going to try and pump them out as much as I can, maybe even hitting 2 a day. So this is my spoiler review on Stuff of Nightmares Sleigh Ride. You have been warned. This book, at the beginning of it, was very good. So you pretty much got Santa Claus, being like, ho ho ho, kids, like, can you give Santa a ho ho ho? And then you got the two adults in there. I know I just kind of like sound like I skipped over, but I don't know how to describe the beginning of this book because really you get more into the background, because at the beginning of this book you don't really get a background. These people don't really matter. Like, he killed the two parents, and we don't know where the hell they came from or what relations that he had with those people. I'm just to presume that he lived in the people's basements or whatever, because I think when the cops found out this guy's address, then they went to a different house and he were to use a fake address, but I think that he lived in these people's basements and he killed them without them knowing. I don't really know. So Santa Claus' name was Heinrich Fiddler, and he was a mall Santa. A Nightmare Keeper went on and he told a story. I love Nightmare Keeper. He also has Butler and Nightmare Keeper and some Nightmare Keeper in some sort of a festive mood. I guess if you want to call dark, gloomy, and serial killer minded a good festive mood when the actual killer of the book dies, then sure. They call that festive. Um, but Nightmare Keeper went on. He was talking about the story of Heinrich Fiddler. Heinrich Fiddler is a guy who was a mall Santa, but he got fired and Santa Land wasn't going to open, and the kids were super disappointed by that, but no one else was as disappointed as Heinrich Fiddler because that was his job. That's the job that he was getting paid to do. So after his boss fired him, finding out that just financially the mall was going to close down in a little bit, Fiddler went on and he killed his boss, Mr. Kennedy. I'm sorry, not Mr. Kennedy. Oh, that fucking... Oh, well, this is take two. I'm not gonna go on and do that. His boss's name was Mr. Anderson. If you guys enjoy WWE TNA wrestling, good for you. Round of applause. But Mr. Anderson was the name of a guy in Impact Wrestling. Before he went to Impact Wrestling, it was Mr. Kennedy. So if you understand that, good for you. If not, well, I just told you that. That was his whole gimmick. He used to come down to the ring and say his name was Mr. Kennedy and put a whole thing. I loved him. He was one of my favorites growing up. But his boss's name was Mr. Anderson. And he killed Mr. Anderson after Mr. Anderson killed him, and he went on and squeezed him. Fiddler grabbed Anderson's throat, squeezed him to death, taking the air out of his throat, and then shoving a candy cane down his throat. But you don't really get to see him shove the candy cane down his throat, but you do see it drawn when the police are going on and doing and is doing a report on it. My mind had like a fucking stroke there for a second. So the cops did that. Fiddler went on and drank pretty much, and he's like, hey, like, I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna just pretty much destroy Christmas, steal things, get a bunch of money, and just kill a bunch of people. And you could tell that he was trying to make the kids believe that he was Santa Claus, which I thought was really cool. The parents were like, oh yeah, like Santa's gonna come deliver presents, and then he comes walking in, it's like, ho 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 kids, Merry Christmas, and then he just fucking kills them all and you see here, hold on one second, let me try and get without fucking this up here. Hopefully you see these rats in here. So he actually calls the rats by the Santa's reindeer's name, because he thinks, oh yeah, these are like my quote-unquote reindeer, but these are just rats or mice or whatever that is pretty much going on to kill the people. And he's like putting bags over over people's heads and just like, you've been on the naughty list this year, and then he goes on and he kills them. Essentially, that is what he does. And then he'll go on, he has a chainsaw at some point and comes with the chainsaw, tries to chainsaw people, but he went outside, and this is the darkness I like of R.L. Stine, when he could really get dark, because that pretty much what I just told you. Hold on one second here. Sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze. I felt it coming. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the worst goddamn time. But pretty much this is once again why I love R.L. Stine, because he can get really dark at times, and that's the one great thing about him. He can get dark when he wants to get dark, and some of his dark stuff can be very, very, very dark. So, in the ending of this book, almost when Fiddler is trying to run away from the cops, because the two Santas I was talking to at the mall, he told the guys his plan to go on and to pretty much steal people's jewelry and kill people and whatever, and how he should just ruin Christmas. They were two undercover cops. the two Santas that he was talking to were undercover cops. And at the end they got him, and they were like, oh yeah, like you can't tell a secret to undercover cops. So basically that happened, and Heinrich here went on and broke into people's houses and just killed them pretty much. But towards the end, where he goes to the final house and the cop is like, hey, like, you're under arrest, Heinrich. Like, Heinrich runs away, he still has a chainsaw in hand. There's someone outside, I think, that he was talking to, but Heinrich ended up running away from the cops, nonetheless, because it was like an undercover cop and they wanted to take him in. But what ended up happening was he left the chainsaw behind, and he was running up onto the ceiling. Not the ceiling. He ended up running on the roof of a house. And of course, there was so much snow, and he even mentioned how slippery it was. He tried to step back away, but he slipped on the roof. He falls down into the chimney that was lit and that was on fire, and he falls down after a mother or father was telling their son or daughter about the story of Santa Claus and how he comes down the chimney and whatever. And of course, the parents of the entire time are like, no, kids, Santa Claus is fake. Santa isn't real. Like, this guy's breaking into our fucking house and is gonna try and kill us and steal our stuff, but the kids, they aren't gonna believe it. So the kid's like, hey, it's Santa, and the parent was like, oh my god, and they saw how Heinrich was going into a flame here. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try and get this book out here for you and show you what I mean by that, because I love it. It's a great dark shot. Here, this is what I mean. He falls down. This is probably my favorite panel from this, but the father was talking to the son about towards the night before Christmas, and then he falls down into the roof and he just burns. Like, I love this shot. This shot right here tells you how dark R.L. Stine can get, and I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. It's one of my it's just one of my absolute favorites here. Okay, sorry, I was trying to look up someone's name because it was important. Nightmare Keepers. The Nightmare I was getting a phone call, and it was my grandmother. I'm not going to talk to her. I'll just say I was doing something on my phone that it was important, which it is important. This is, but I'll just tell her I was doing like a movie review or something. Okay, my dad was cleaning his face. I thought something was wrong with him. But Nightmare Keeper's boss's name is Reggie, or Reginald, or whatever you want to call him. So I'll put the book away in a little bit. So you guys can have a clearer look at it. This is what the book looks like out of back and board, and this is what the book looks like in the back, which I love this leg. I love how little Nightmare Keeper's face is on there, and you can even see it and the little ornament hanging on the tree, which I really, really like, and what I think is really, really cool. But yeah, so the mice Heinrich uses is to basically kill people, and even the first kid that he sees after Heinrich got fired, going back to earlier on in the book, the kid's like, Santa's not real, and he's like, yes, he is, boy, like, tell me what you want for Christmas, Santa's gonna give it to you. And the mom pretty much freaked the fuck out, and the one mall security cop was coming over and was like, is everything okay? And then Heinrich was like, oh yeah, everything's fine, you know, Santa's just talking to his little boy about what he wants for Christmas, because that was his whole thing. That's why he broke into people's houses and stole stuff to talk to the kids, because he loved the kids and all that. So yeah, there's that with Heinrich. He's a sadistic motherfucker. And then towards the end, and then after he died, Nightmare Keeper, like after Heinrich fell into the chimney and burst into flames, Nightmare Keeper said, he's like, man, what a shame for Heinrich. He's like, that gets me every time in the fields. And I'm like, he's dark, sadistic, and that's fucking awesome. Also, shout out to R.L. Stine because, of course, copyright and whatever. For making the gift to Reggie and to Nightmare Keeper from them both is being a poison pack from Poisons R Us. I loved that when I read it. I thought it was really cool because Toys R Us, Poisons R Us, and that was great. I really enjoyed it, and they like drink poison or whatever. I'm guessing that's for like to use or to have or whatever. I thought that was really, really cool. Overall, Stuff of Nightmares, this is a great fucking book. This is so, so good. It's great for Christmas, and if you want a mixture of Halloween or scary, murderous shit in Christmas, this is a book to read. It doesn't take very long. And if you're not only a fan of comic books, but a fan of just creepy stuff as a whole and stuff that R.L. Stine has done, this is the book for you. Highly recommend it. Overall, just phenomenal book. Phenomenal. Like, I love it. I love everything about this book and everything that was done, everything that was drawn. I'm even taking a look back right now, and there's just some stuff that was really cool. I'm trying to find the one thing here. This shot right here of him, like, at first you thought, like, oh man, like, there is something definitely wrong with this guy, but then come to find out that it's just some old guy who got fired from his job as a mall Santa with his little, rats or mice, that he calls Santa's deer or whatever. Like, it's just, I love it. I think that Heinrich Fiddler was a great character. I love Nightmare Keeper. Like, I do enjoy indie books. I want to get more into them. I'm enjoying Spawn. I love Spawn. Spawn's my favorite indie character. Excluding Godzilla. If you want to count Godzilla as an indie guy, Godzilla's my favorite. But indie comic book character that originated from the comics, Spawn's my favorite. I love the Ninja Turtles as well. But I just kind of count them as one whole, so they're technically my second favorite, but whatever. You can count Ninja Turtles as whatever you want to count them as, but Heinrich Fiddler, quickly went up there. I don't know if he's top 10s or not, but, I think Nightmare Keeper is easily in my top 10s. I just love him. I think he's great, and R.L. Stine did such a great job at writing him and drawing him. I love it, and I'm gonna hopefully that I don't get like copyrighted or whatever, or this video gets taken down for me showing this, but this is the Nightmare Keeper himself, and I just love his design here, and I want to try and take you to a page where Nightmare Keeper is, where you can fully see him. No, you can't fully really see him, but that's him just like sitting on his chair, and that's him with an up close. He kind of gives me, if you guys watch the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, the Rat King, kind of who is what he reminds me of, or who he reminds me of in a way. But I just love how he is drawn. I love how R.L. Stine wrote him. But yeah, overall, great fucking book. I really, really enjoy this. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna try and do better with reviews. It just depends on the books. At some point or another, I'm gonna try and get to, I think it was number 212, Everyone Fights Galactus. That might be a future review at some point. Because I already read it and I remember a decent amount of it. I just need to go back and go through it. But that might be either my next one or one of my next ones. I just gotta read more comics because I have... I have 7 long boxes. I need about 11, I think, to actually fit everything. Plus, once again, new weekly stuff. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So, anyways, guys, that is my review on Stuff of Nightmares. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, if you do enjoy comic book reviews, make sure you do click the subscribe button. I'm going to be posting at least one every single day, no matter what. And I'll even post on a community tab, like, if the video is going to be one that I pre-recorded or not. So make sure you keep an eye out for my community tabs. give this video a like to make the YouTube algorithm go up. Comment down below and let me know what comic book you either want me to read or you want me to do a review on. I'll gladly do both. My recommendation, my reading list as it is very big, so might as well get it bigger, you know. And at some point or another, I will be going on to review the Infinity Gauntlet, because that is my favorite comic book series of all time until I'm done reading Crisis on Infinite Earths, because I think that's going to be my next one. But really, though, I really enjoy the Infinity Gauntlet. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this book back in the S pile so I can go through and sort it out. But just thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas yesterday. Once again, Merry belated Christmas. I will see you either later this week. I'm going to try and get one more comic book review out. If not, I will see you all on January 1st, 2024, not 2022, 2024, when I continue to do comic book reviews. Peace out, guys.